What's going on, Not Move Nation? Today is October 21st at 10:48 a.m. Eastern Time. We have NBA today. It is opening night. We have the Houston Rockets at Oklahoma City Thunder and the Golden State Warriors at Los Angeles Lakers. Really, before we get started, I just need to say that there is a lot of data that I don't have yet to make accurate predictions in these games. Obviously, it's the first slate of the year, and things can be difficult. There's been a lot of changes with teams. I've been focused on football a lot, so this is a new transition for me. I won't be able to do as many NBA shows this season as I did the previous 2 years, at least until football ends. That's really where my time is at right now. But, I felt like we had to do a show for opening night NBA. I think this is my third year doing NBA shows. So please just bear with me a little bit here. And all right, let's get started. Houston at Oklahoma City Thunder. Oh, by the way, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. All right. Houston at Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City has won the last 6 out of 10 games against Houston. Kevin Durant has a 9-6 record against SGA. And then Steven Adams and KD both used to play for Oklahoma City. So, yeah, KD and Steven Adams are both with Houston now. All right. Let's go over some injuries for this Houston and Oklahoma City game. Jalen Williams, small forward / power forward for the Oklahoma City Thunder, is out. Looks like he has a wrist issue. And I'm looking at the FanDuel Daily Fantasy app, and they're saying, Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins, and Cason Wallace are candidates to, see an increase in playing time in this game tonight. And then let's see, Isaiah Joe, shooting guard for Oklahoma City Thunder, out, dealing with a knee issue. Once again, Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins should see an increase of playing time and or usage. You'll hear me refer to usage rate a lot in the NBA. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Dorian Finney-Smith out, ankle issue. He's the small forward / power forward for the Houston Rockets. Looks like Jeff Green could pick up some minutes off the bench due to his absence. And then Tate, small forward for Houston, ankle issue, out. Fred VanVleet, man. He suffered a torn ACL, and he may be out for the year. That's a huge hit to this Houston Rockets team. Hopefully he has a nice recovery. And then Kyrick Williams, power forward for Oklahoma City, knee issue, out tonight. All right. Oh, with Fred VanVleet being out, looks like Amen Thompson could handle a lot of ball handling responsibilities, and Aaron Holiday. All right. So let's look into this a little bit here. Also, I just want to mention that Jalen Green is no longer with Houston, and neither is Dylan Brooks. Yo, what's up, Ivan? NBA is back. I'm going to pray so hard I don't go bankrupt with how rigged NBA is, says Ivan. Second half always messes me up. Yeah, for sure, man. Personally, I need at least a couple weeks of data before I start dabbling into the NBA stuff. This is really just, warming up. So usage rate in the NBA is huge. And I don't know who's going to get usage tonight. If you guys have usage projections, that's big. Basically, it measures a player's offensive productivity for the team. It measures how much really they mean to their offense. Okay. So let's talk about just the general team stuff first. I'm looking at last season's data, and yeah, super light for about a month. Yeah. So I'm looking at, points per game, points allowed per game, points in the paint per game, points in the paint allowed per game, fast break points per game, fast break points allowed. You get the drift. Okay. So just going on off of last year's data, I see in this game, Oklahoma City has a big points per game advantage. They have a slight points in the paint per game advantage, a slight fast break points per game advantage, a slight 3-point field goals made per game advantage, a slight assists advantage, a big turnovers advantage, and a slight team defensive efficiency advantage. Okay, so I see a ton of advantages here today for Oklahoma City, just based on last year's data. The only thing that I can really say about Houston out of all of these categories that they have an advantage in is a rebound advantage. And they have a huge rebound advantage. They ranked first in rebounds per game last season. Oklahoma City ranked 28th in rebounds allowed per game last season. So in regards to like player props, that's probably where I would be looking first, is who's going to get rebounds for Houston. So let me go to the book real quick and see, Sengun. I'm seeing his over under is at 9.5. So we can look up Houston Rockets rebound leaders from last season, and I'm sure he's going to be the top guy. Rebounds per game, he averaged, looks like 10.3 rebounds per game last season. So we can also look at Sengun versus Thunder game log is what I'll type in my search engine here. It takes me to StatMuse. It's giving me all of his games that he's played against the Thunder throughout his career. And I want to see, how many times in the last 10 games has he had 10 or more rebounds? 1, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 6, 4 out of 7, 5 out of 8, 5 out of 9, 6 out of 10. So more times than not, he's gone over that line. Over under 9.5 rebounds. 6 out of 10 games, he went over that against OKC. Okay. Also, I want to look at Sengun's game log. So I'll just type in Sengun game log in my search engine here. And we are going to look at advanced statistics. I want to know what his rebounds per 40 minutes was last season. It was an all-time high, 13.1 rebounds per 40 minutes. Per 40 minutes. So that's good. If you're thinking about Sengun's rebounds, that was the highest rebounds per 40 minutes that he's had in his first 4 years in the league. So he's really zoning in on the rebounds. Something else I want to look at is how well or not well did Oklahoma City he's projected to be the power forward tonight, okay? Sengun. Steven Adams is projected to get the starting center role. We'll know much more at near game time what the starting lineups are. I have found that the most reliable source for me has been rotowire.com for that information, ROTO wire.com. I think, starting lineups is very important. And if today wasn't opening night, I would probably, I'm really just going to get these NBA shows in when I can. Sometimes they'll be morning, sometimes they'll be closer to game time. But the more information that I have, the better. And knowing these starting lineups is definitely crucial. And right now, I don't know, but I have starting lineup projections here. They're projecting Sengun to be that starting power forward tonight. So I want to know how good or bad Oklahoma City did at allowing rebounds to power forwards last season. They ranked 11th worst. So they were below average. OKC was below average at allowing rebounds to power forwards last season. And let's say, Sengun slides over and gets a little bit of center time here. Well, Oklahoma City is slightly above average. And I'm getting this information from fantasypros.com. Okay. It's NBA defense versus position. So, based on those factors, I would have to lean towards him going over that line. Sengun to get 10 plus rebounds. And he's, the major rebound guy for this team. So, Steven Adams too. I'm not going to look into every single player prop. All right. But if you see a vulnerability somewhere with these rebounds, I think it's a good spot tonight. I'll also look to see if Oklahoma City was very weak at allowing rebounds to a specific position last season. Yeah, they ranked third worst in rebounds allowed to point guards, according to fantasypros.com. So Amin Thompson's projected to be the starting point guard tonight for Houston, since Fred VanVleet's looking like he might miss the entire season. So I'll look up, Amin Thompson rebounds. Sure, why not? So it looks like last season he averaged 8.1 rebounds per game, and his over/under 6.5. So something that I want to do is basically the same thing here. Look up Amin Thompson. We'll do something a little different here. Amin Thompson versus SGA head-to-head statistics. It takes me to the land of basketball.com. SGA has a 4-2 career record against Amin Thompson. But I want to see how many rebounds Amin Thompson is getting against SGA throughout those 6 games that they've played through history. We said his over-under was 6.5, right? He's gone over that in the last 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5. He's gone over that in 4 out of 6 total games against SGA. Over-under 6.5 rebounds. Went over in 4 out of 6 career games against SGA. Something we could do is Amin Thompson versus Thunder statistics. And once again, guys, if you have any questions about a specific player prop, I'd be happy to stop what I'm doing and look into it for you. So Amin Thompson's gone over that line in 5 out of 7 career games against Oklahoma City. Career games against OKC. And, we could look at Amin Thompson game log. Go check out those advanced statistics on ESPN.com. His rebounds per 40 minutes was down last season from the previous one, which makes me a little hesitant. Rebounds per 40 is lower than the previous year. Also, point guards can rack up rebounds, but typically, not position I'm necessarily looking to target. Okay, what about these other positions? I mean that looks okay. I mean, if you like the rebounds there, I could see it happening, but I'm trying to maybe find a different spot. Oklahoma City, KD's projected to be the shooting guard tonight. He's projected to be the shooting guard, and Oklahoma City was below average in rebounds allowed to shooting guards. Small forwards, they ranked fifth worst last season. So, moral of the story: there's some rebounds to go around for this Houston team. Okay. So I'm sure everybody's interested in SGA points, right? Let's go look at that. Let's talk about the big props. Houston allowed the most points per game to point guards last season. And with Fred VanVleet being out, that's not good. So SGA. Last that I checked, and I'm pretty sure it's still the same, his over-under on points was 32.5. Now it's at 33.5. When it was at 32.5, he went over that in the last 4 out of 10 games against Houston. He's had 35-plus points in his last 3 meetings against Kevin Durant. But he's only gone over that line in 1 out of 6 career games against Amen Thompson. Yeah, he led his team in usage rate last season as well at 34.6%. So I think, something that we need to look up is, how high of a usage rate is that compared to other players in the NBA, So Giannis his usage rate was 34.6% last season. So I'm getting different statistics. There's one site that I look at, I believe it's StatMuse, that said SGA's usage rate was 34.6%. I'm looking at NBA.com, and it's saying that it's at 33.6%. So I don't know which one's more accurate. So I'm gonna guess NBA.com, but maybe it is StatMuse. But there are conflicting reports on that usage rate. So 33.6%. So the only people really above him was Giannis, Embiid, and LaMelo Ball. And then it's SGA. So that just tells you how important SGA is to this offense. Also, we can go look at SGA's game log and see if his points per 40 minutes was higher last season than any other season that he's ever played in, and it was by a decent amount. It's tough for me to, not like SGA points, especially when Houston allowed that much. I don't like the history against Amen Thompson. Only went over that in 1 out of 6 career games against him, but everything else looks pretty good. And something else that we got to consider is, what is SGA good at, right? Is he good at fast break point? I mean, he's good at a lot of things, but is he good at specifically good at fast break points in the paint, and things like that? So let's look at fast break points in the paint. He ranked 6th best in the NBA in points in the paint per game last season. All right. Houston ranked 16th in points in the paint allowed per game. So if Houston was ranked like 30th in that category, I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's a big advantage. And I still think it is a good advantage for SGA. I would be a little bit more concerned if Houston was in the top 10 in points in the paint allowed per game last season. What about, fast break points per game? SGA ranked 13th best in the league. Oklahoma City fast break points allowed per game last season ranked 7th. So, but ballers are going to ball, I wish that number was a little bit worse, but, it's doable. So based on all that, yeah, I mean, I got to lean towards SGA over that. Steven Adams. Okay, here we go. Bless our Ivan is saying here. I saw a post on IG said that Rockets starting 5 are all 6 and 11 -1 was 6-7. Yeah, dude. So the lineup projections right now I'm seeing for the Houston Rockets: Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith, Sengun, and Steven Adams. So it looks like they're going to be trying to play bully ball. Yeah, Amen Thompson is 6'7", and he is projected to be the point guard tonight. KD 6'11", Jabari Smith 6'10", Sengun 6'11", Steven Adams 6'11". So yeah, looks like they're just going to be trying to play big boy ball, and I think that'll be tough on guys like Holmgren and Hartenstein. So I do think SGA is going to have to pick up this workload, and let's also take into consideration that Jalen Williams is out. He was a big focal point in this offense last season. When I look up Oklahoma City Thunder usage rate from last season, I'm just going to use the Stat Muse one. Okay. Jalen Williams ranked second on the team in usage rate at 27.4%. And I would expect Chet Holmgren to be your bigger focal points. Aaron Wiggins off the bench. He's projected to be coming off the bench. Isaiah Joe's out. Hartenstein. But really, SGA. I think Aaron Wiggins could be a guy to look at in tonight's game. Really, because Isaiah Joe is out for like a sleeper pick, Aaron Wiggins, but because not only because Jalen Williams is out, but Isaiah Joe as well. So I'd have to lean towards SGA going over those points. Last season, he was awesome. So Kevin Durant, let's go check what his points are at. So he's new to this team, right? So I don't have last year's usage rate. Let me get to some of these comments first. Steven Adams is healthy this year. When he was on the Grizzlies, one of my favorite lines for him and parlay pieces was Adams for 2.5 assists. Okay. Yeah, let's go take a look at it. Steven Adams game log. I want to know what his assists per 40 minutes was. We can start off there. Assists per 40 minutes. It looks like last year it was at 3.3. He's had years where it's been a tad higher, but honestly, it looks like he's been focusing on on assisting the ball a little bit more throughout the past 3 seasons of his career. Because I'm looking at the previous years before that, and they're really not as high besides 1 year. So yeah, it looks like he is, doing the assist thing. One of my concerns with that is that Houston ranked 29th in assists per game last year. And then Oklahoma City ranked 4th best in assists allowed per game last year. So teams weren't getting a whole lot of assists. Houston wasn't getting a whole lot of assists either. And with Van Fleet being out, I think that takes away, somebody that he could pass to and score the rock. But it's low enough, right? It's low enough. And is that what it's at today? Over under assists for who we look? Steven Adams. I don't see a line on him. But if you do have 2.5, Steven Adams versus Thunder stats. How many times against the Thunder in his previous games has he had, 3 or more assists? A lot of these games, 2 out of the 3 most recent games, he played 6 minutes. So I would expect him to play some more minutes tonight. But he's only gone over that in 2 out of 9 games against OKC throughout his career. He did play some really, I should add this other one in there, 23 minutes. So what was that? 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2 out of 10. So, and then we can look at assists per game allowed by Oklahoma City to that center position last year. And they were slightly above average at defending against center assists. So, maybe it's a good spot tonight. Maybe tonight's not the night. I think I would be looking somewhere else, but I don't want to steer you away from really anything. Amin Thompson line at 7.5. Is that okay to take? Amin Thompson line at 7.5. Is that okay to take? 7.5. Is it assists or points? Let me go look at the points. Amin Thompson. 15.5 points. I'm guessing you're talking about rebounds. I'm seeing 6.5 here on rebounds, Ivan. I hope you're talking about rebounds, because the book I'm looking at is saying that his assists, Amin Thompson, over under 5.5 at plus money. So I'm gonna assume that you're talking about rebounds. And then we already covered those rebounds. I think that's stretching it. 7.5 rebounds. Let's go see how many times he's gone over that against Oklahoma City throughout his career, where he's had 8 or more. That's a huge difference. 1, 2, 3 out of 7 career games, he's gone over that. And then against SGA, let's go take a look at that. So we're looking for games where he's had 8 or more rebounds against SGA, Amin Thompson. 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4, 2 out of 5, 2 out of 6. So there's a huge difference between the 6.5 and 7.5. If I would maybe wait. I would maybe wait to see if it goes back down to 6.5. Or not play it. Chet's line at 7.5. Is that too low? Let's go take a look. Houston ranked 8th best in opponent rebounds allowed per game last season. So they were above average at preventing teams from getting rebounds on them. And Oklahoma City was average as a team in regards to rebounds per game. So Chet over under 7.5 rebounds. Let's go take a look. Chet Holmgren. Let's go see if his rebounds per 40 minutes was high last season compared to previous years that he's played. Let's start off with that. So, this is his third year in the league. His rebounds per 40 minutes was higher last season than the previous one. I like that. Rebounds per 40 were higher last season than the year before, which is good. Which means that tells me that he's focusing on getting rebounds. And then we want to look at his history. And also, we want to look, he's projected, according to rotowire.com, to be the power forward tonight. I want to know how many rebounds per game Houston allowed to power forwards last year, and it was below average. They were below average at limiting power forward rebounds. Or wait, they were above average, excuse me. Houston, right? Yeah. Houston ranked 9th best, or 8th best. They ranked 8th best. 8th best at preventing power forward rebounds last season. Also, there's a lot of big bodies, that you were talking about, Ivan. A lot of guys for this Houston team that can crash the boards. You mentioned that a lot of these guys are, 6'10" or taller. I mean, Amen Thompson's their point guard tonight, and he's 6'7". So I think there's going to be, and with Hartenstein there, I think there's going to be a lot of people trying to get those boards. But let's go take a look at Chet Holmgren versus Rockets stats. How many times in the last few games throughout his career against the Rockets has he gone over that 7.5 rebound line? 3 out of 7 games over against Houston. And then what else did I want to know? Oh, I kind of wanted to know if he has ever played up against maybe Steven Adams. Chet, let me see. That's a pretty specific search query. Chet Holmgren versus Steven Adams. Sometimes I can't find head-to-head data when a player is, like Steven Adams. You know what I mean? But I did find something here against Steven Adams. Chet Holmgren played against Steven Adams last season twice. Chet Holmgren had 5 rebounds. 5 rebounds, playing 29 minutes against Steven Adams. And then he had 4 rebounds playing 31. So I see a little bit more things that I'm concerned about than I like with Chet's rebounds tonight. Let's get this. Let's go through these other comments here. You're right. I don't see a line for him. I would bet at least 1.5 blocks on Chet versus Rockets, given history. Chet versus Rockets. Let's go take a look at that. Chet versus Rockets game log. Blocks. I think that's a really good call out there. Just by looking at that history, Dollface Gremlin. Chet versus blocks against, so he's gone over the 1.5 blocks in 7 out of 7 career games against Houston. That's great intel. blocks. Went over in 7 out of 7 games career against Houston. I also want to know how many times Houston was blocked last year. Were they a team that was blocked often? So Houston Rockets blocks allowed. NBA team opponent blocks per game. Because I'm not looking for the blocks per game for Oklahoma City. I'm looking for the opponent blocks per game. How many times? Or I mean, for Houston, I'm not looking for how many times Houston blocked. I'm looking for how many times they were blocked, and they were blocked a lot. They were blocked the third most out of any team in the league. Also, I usually look at points, rebounds, and assists, but we can also look at. Well, I don't know how to interpret that, so I'm not going to do that. Based on that little information that I found, I think that's a really good call out there, Dollface Gremlin. Thank you for the comment. Chet average rebounds against the Rockets is 7.6. Last 3 games were bad, though, 5, 11, and 4. Chet will see a lot of Sengun on D. I would love to – I'm just reading the comments, guys. I would love to see all healthy Grizzlies team, man. Last year I traveled to Memphis to see them play, and everyone was literally out. But they did win, though. That's cool, man. Yeah, I like the Memphis Grizzlies. Rockets allowed 3rd most blocked shots per game according to StatMuse. Yeah, I like the information that I saw right there. And then Holmgren blocks per game. How many blocks per game? Throughout his career, his blocks per game average, according to this AI search, is 2.3. I'm sure you could find some more concrete. Let's see. Yeah, 2.3 is what I'm saying. So, yeah, I think everything adds up for that. Good call out. Kevin Durant. I would I don't know what his usage is going to be on this team. I would expect he would be the focal point of the offense. Unless you guys, I mean, I've been NFL focused, right? So this is my first day back with NBA. I haven't really been paying attention to preseason, to be honest with you. My time's been focused on football, and I don't know what his usage, I don't know what his role is going to be with this Houston Rockets team, but I would think that, he would lead this team in usage rate. So let's go see what KD's over-under on points are. KD over-under 23.5 points. Let's go. Oh, I gotta close some tabs here. Yeah, sometimes we get to talking about stuff, and I just go crazy with opening tabs. I still got Amen Thompson tabs up, which is the first. Guy that we talked about. Okay. Okay, Kevin Durant points. 23.5. Durant versus Thunder game log. Let's go check that out first. Durant against the Thunder. He has got 24 or more points in the last 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6, 6 out of 7, 7 out of 8, 8 out of 9, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 games. He's gone over that line against OKC. Okay. Now we want to look to see if Kevin Durant is specifically good at fast break points. If he's on this top 50 list in fast break points last season, no. What about in points in the paint per game? He ranked 48th. And Houston ranked as a team, ranked 16th in points in the, or excuse me, Oklahoma City ranked first in points in the paint allowed per game last season. So I think that potentially takes away Kevin Durant upside for this game, because that's one of his strong points in the paint. And once again, Oklahoma City didn't allow a lot of points in the paint last season. They ranked first in points in the paint allowed per game. And then what else was there? 3-pointers made. Durant ranked 37th best in the NBA in 3-point field goals made per game last season. So that's a strong point of his game as well. And Houston ranked third, or I keep saying Houston. Oklahoma City ranked 13th best, so slightly above average, and 3-pointers allowed per game last season. Now, Kevin Durant, according to RotoWire.com, is projected to be the starting shooting guard tonight. So I want to see how many points per game did Oklahoma City allow to shooting guards last season. They were above average. And I'm also wanting to know how many 3-point field goals allowed, since that's one of Kevin Durant's strong points, and they were above average at defending against that. It's a revenge game. He has good history, man. What about Durant game log? How many points per 40 minutes did he have last season? Has it been higher in his career? 29.1. So he's on in regards to points per 40 minutes, it's been trending down. I think, he could do it, and it's a revenge game. It'd be a fun prop to play. I just don't know if. What do you guys think about that? Let's see here. Rockets allowed third. Okay, good job, you guys. Thank you, Dollface Gremlin. Might see a lot of KD bringing the ball up the half court and passing to start offensive read, and don't take the lead. Yes, and I think KD will have a tough time just driving to the hole, since Oklahoma City ranked first in points in the paint allowed per game last season, so I could see him passing the ball too. Yeah, you're saying some good stuff here, Dollface Gremlin. KD last 3 games against Thunder, he went off, says Dollface Gremlin. He averages 30 against his old team all time. KD on a worse Suns team makes this team harder one to guess. Also, Rockets more defensive focused, yeah. Just not a spot where I'm just like, yes, I love it. But I could see it happening. It'd be a fun prop to play. I like his history, right? I like his history. I would expect his usage rate to be there. I don't like how well Oklahoma City has been defending against 2 of the stronger points in his game, which is once again the points in the paint and 3-point field goals. Oklahoma City has a really good defense. But if you want to take it, it's first night. I need more data to work with. He did have. Okay. So what about 3-point field goals. Houston did a really good job at defending against three-pointers last season. They ranked third best in 3 points allowed per game. I don't expect there to be a ton of three-point field goals made in this game. I think the guys, that if, I think the three-point field goal leaders in this game could be Durant and or Dort. But other than that, I guess I would lean more towards Durant getting his 3-point field goals made. Maybe that's the prop to go with Durant instead of points. But I'm not going to look into all that right now. Are there any really weak defenders? So I like looking at this source called craftednba.com. It gives you a list of the worst defenders in the NBA. And I'm just going to see if there's any Houston Rockets on this team or on this list. Jeff Green. He's a bench player. And then Oklahoma City. I don't see anybody on this list from Oklahoma City. But we may find some guys in the next game that we talk about. If you guys have any more questions about props, okay, let's see here. 3-point percentage versus under was while on the Suns. 42. Okay. So maybe that's not the way to go. Low attempts, though, no more than 7. Okay. Good call out, Dollface Gremlin. Yeah, maybe not the way to go. But if you guys have any other, before we move on to the other game, I want to see if there's anything specifically that either of these teams were vulnerable at last season defending against. We already talked about Houston allowing the most points per game, just point guards, according to fantasypros.com. Oklahoma City allowed the third most rebounds per game to point guards. Assists, not seeing anything there with in regards to point guards. Let's just look at points per game real quick and go through all these tabs. Houston, Oklahoma City is the teams I'm looking for. Houston, OKC. Okay, looks like they've all done pretty good against defending against points per game, except Houston against the point guard position. Rebounds. The Rockets allowed a good amount of rebounds to the shooting guard position, which Kevin Durant would be. That is projected to be the shooting guard tonight. Small forward. Oklahoma City allowed. I mean, we've kind of already talked about the rebound props. So let's look at assists maybe. Assists. Houston, OKC is what I'm looking for here. Houston, OKC. I don't really see any vulnerability to a specific position in regards to assists allowed per game. Both of these defenses limited assists pretty well last season, okay? So if you guys have any other questions about this game, we can dive into some props, but otherwise I'm going to give a prediction on who I think will win the game and cover and then move on. OKC's favored by 6.5. OKC's favored by 6.5. I'm looking at the average margin of victory on the road for Houston last season. They were at +2. And then OKC average margin of victory, Houston average margin of victory on the road last season was +2. OKC average margin of victory at home last season was +16.3. The difference between that is Oklahoma City by 14.3 points. However, I think we need to take into account that Kevin Durant is now with Houston, which could increase that. And Houston, but we also got to deduct that the fact that Van Fleet's out. And with Oklahoma City, we have to take into account that Jalen Williams is out, It'd be interesting. It'd be nice to know, like, Oklahoma City Thunder record without Jalen Williams, which I'm sure is still probably good. 23-8 record without Jalen Williams all time. And then against the spread trends last season, Oklahoma City was the best team against the spread. Houston, Houston was pretty good too. They ranked 7th best against the spread. But I honestly didn't know who I was going to pick in this game before I got on the show. And I kind of, in the back of my mind, wanted to go with Houston. But I think, man, oh man. I think I need to just check a couple more factors here. I want to look at, I mentioned that Oklahoma City's won the last 6 out of 10 games against Houston. Thunder versus Rockets history. I want to see how many times the Thunder won by, what is the line? 6.5? 7 or more points in their most recent wins against Houston. The last 2 games that they've won against Houston, they won by 7+. The last 3 games, the last 4 games, the last 5 games, the last 6 games, the last 7 games, last 8 games that the Thunder have won against the Houston Rockets, they won by 7+ points. So, look, I'm not going to try to get cute on this one. It is the chalky pick. It's, I think a lot of people are going to be on Oklahoma City in this game. I am worried that Jalen Williams is out. Worried that Jalen Williams is out for Oklahoma City. Kevin Durant has a 9-6 record against SGA as well. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself since this is the first game. Excuse me. And something else I kind of wonder is how good is a team? And let me try to do some an AI search here. What are teams' records on opening night in the NBA after they win a championship? A recent summary shows defending champions are 59-16 on opening night, a winning percentage of about 7.786. And then, that doesn't answer the full question. That's really good information there, but that doesn't answer like the full question, which would be, how often do defending NBA champions cover the spread on opening night the following season? That would be a better statistic to know, right? Defending NBA champions have gone 4-8 against the spread in their season opener over the past 12 seasons. But that's from another source, and picks for opening night. Looks like there's inconsistencies with this data, is what the AI search query is. But it's saying that it's likely tending towards the lower end. You know what? Let's hold off on that. Let's hold off on that prediction. I'll make it by the end of the show. Let's go look at this Golden State Warriors and Lakers game. Lakers have won the last 6 out of 10 matchups against Golden State. Steph Curry has an 11-5 all-time record against DeAndre Ayton. Jimmy Butler has a 5-3 career record against Ayton. Curry is 12-9 against Doncic. LeBron James is out for the Lakers tonight with a pinched nerve. Vanderbilt and LaRavia, from my understanding, should get some uptick due to his absence. Jimmy Butler is questionable. He's the small forward / power forward for Golden State. He's questionable with an ankle injury, but is expected to play. Jonathan Kuminga, small forward / power forward for the Warriors, is questionable with an ankle issue, like Jimmy Butler, but is expected to play. Moses Moody, shooting guard / small forward for Golden State, is out with a calf issue. Pajimski and Buddy Hield should receive an increase of minutes and or usage, according to the FanDuel Daily Fantasy app. Sometimes, they're not 100% accurate with like who's going to do well or whatever. But that's just what they're saying. All right. And then it's okay. So usage rates. Let's start with the Lakers. Let's go start with the Lakers usage rate. With Kevin Durant being out, one has to think that Luka Doncic is going to see a lot of usage tonight. Lakers usage rate is what I'll type into my search engine here. And so Anthony Davis was the leader in usage rate on this team last season. Or excuse me. It was Doncic. It was Doncic at 34.3%. And then it was LeBron James and Anthony Davis at 30.1%. Somebody on this Lakers team has to step up other than Doncic. And the first guy I'm thinking it's going to be is Austin Reeves, because he is the next leader in usage rate on this team last season. It was Doncic, LeBron, AD, and then Reeves. And then D'Angelo Russell, which I don't even think he plays for the Lakers anymore. Let's go see. I think he plays for Dallas. Yeah. Plays for Dallas now. Okay. And then Bronny James. But he was not getting a lot of minutes. I don't even know if he will tonight. Dalton Connect, I think, could be a guy. And then Hachimura Hachimura. If I'm not mistaken, last season in games when LeBron was out, and if you have access to this information, I think it's really, really good. Player usage rate, Lakers, when LeBron is out, is something that is, interesting. So Luka Doncic, 39.4 usage percentage, which is astronomical. Excuse me. And then it was AD, who's no longer there. And then it was Austin Reeves at 29.1%. So I think Austin Reeves is going to get a big increase of usage tonight. And same with Dalton Connect and even Hachimura a little bit. So those are the guys that, I'd really be targeting for the Lakers. Let me go back over here and see if you guys had any questions. Ivan asks, "How do you think? Who do you think will make the finals better? Straight off intuition, what two teams?" I really like the Denver Nuggets this year. I am a Denver Nuggets fan, but I think with getting Valanciunas, that's huge for the Nuggets. He's a really good player, and the backup center for Denver. And Jokic hasn't had a quality backup center like that. So whenever Jokic has been off of the floor, the Nuggets, their plus minus was terrible when Jokic was off the floor. I don't think it will be anywhere near than what it will be or what it was this year with Valanciunas in. I think that's a huge acquisition. And, Jokic, he's had DeAndre Jordan, and I can't remember the last time Jokic has had a quality backup center like that, like Valanciunas. I don't think he ever has, except maybe when Nurkic played for the Nuggets back in the day. So, somebody asked me last night, they were like, "Yeah, but who does Jokic have to work with?" It's like, look, dude, Jokic almost now this could cause a stir up here, but I'm like, look, dude, Jokic almost beat the United States basketball team by himself. Obviously, Jokic had some other players with him and stuff from Serbia, but dude, he almost beat the United States basketball team by himself. So, but let's not act like Jamal Murray is not a problem. Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown. I mean, this team is loaded. So, yeah, I do expect big things from the Nuggets. And yeah, Nuggets. Here we go. It doesn't mean Nuggets roster might be the best ever. It's been during the Jokic era. Yeah. Yeah. So Michael Porter Jr. is now on the Nets. So they got Cam Johnson now. They got Cam Johnson from Brooklyn, who I think that's a really good, I hope the best for Michael Porter Jr. And I think he's going to thrive in Brooklyn. I think he needed to be the focal point of an offense to really thrive. He needed to be handed the keys to the Corvette and just let the man drive instead of sitting in the back seat with Jokic, Murray, AG. I mean, I saw a stat line the other night in preseason. MPJ had like 35 points, 10 boards, and 6 dimes or something crazy like that. So, yeah, I do expect, MPJ to be a big, big part of that Nets offense this season. I'm really looking forward to see how well he does. But yeah, Cam Johnson now, dude. And from my understanding, Cam Johnson's a pretty decent 3-point shooter. Maybe just a jump shooter. Yeah, Cam Johnson ranked 31st in the NBA in 3-pointers made last season per game. That was something that MPJ just wasn't knocking down his threes, it felt like last season. He ranked 40th in 3-point field goals made per game, but I feel like he was chucking up more threes than he should have been. I could be wrong. It felt that way. But yeah, so the Nuggets obviously going up against OKC is going to be a tall task, but I think this is the year. And then out of the East, just off the top of my head, who do I think is going to get it out of the East? Let's check out the Knicks depth chart. Jalen Brunson, Bridges, OG, Cat, Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, Jordan Clarkson. And that's another thing that you can that can help you with capping these NBA games is how well does a team do with bench points per game versus bench points allowed per game. Because I think that's really good for the Knicks offense to have Jordan Clarkson there. And they're one of the front runners to win the East. I think Cleveland's really good. Don't get me wrong, but can Donovan Mitchell really? He's good, but I don't see him as you know the guy that can lead this team to a finals victory. Orlando. I'm leaning toward maybe Knicks Nuggets. Ivan. Knicks Nuggets. Let me just go check out Orlando's depth chart real quick. Desmond Bain, Suggs. They need a point guard. I feel like if they can get a point guard, I think the Magic can do some magic. But yeah, give me Knicks Nuggets. Cam Johnson actually can develop offense and not just stand around waiting for it to come to him. Yeah, there was a lot of just standing around with MPJ last year, but he could cut a lot, dude. I can't tell you how many times I saw MPJ miss a 3-pointer last year, man. It was sad, but I really hope the best for him. It has to be the Knicks, says Dolph-Face Gremlin for the East right now with no games played. Yep. Cavs, then Magic for me, says Dollface. Yeah. Yeah, I would actually lean towards the Magic more than the Cavs. I think the Magic, I know the Magic just aren't there yet, though. Yeah, it's just got to be Knicks Nuggets for me, dude. I don't believe in the Cavs, but Thibs was at Celtics practice giving out all the Knicks game plans from last year. Yeah, well, did I just skip over the Celtics here? I mean, why? Why is Boston 60-1 to win the ship? Is it? What's up with Jason Tatum? Predicted to return by February, so he's. It tells you how much I've been zoned in on football. Apparently, he's what? He's going to be out for a while. Basically, is what they're saying. But they have guys that can get it done if he does come back later on in the year. But they lost Al Horford. I got Anthony Simons. Magic's is sneaky. Hawks have a decent roster, but I am not sure I can bet on their health to stay healthy, which would make the NBA Finals. Let's go look at the Hawks depth chart real quick. Trae Young, Bryce Shea, Jalen Johnson, Kristaps Porzingis, who's not with the Celtics anymore. Yeah, Celtics are going through some changes, huh? Alexander Walker. Yeah, they got a solid line up there. I don't see him making a run for the championship, but yeah, playoff team for sure. Giving some teams some sweat, yeah. Drew Holiday, yeah, dude. So I see it now with the Celtics, but I think with those odds at 60-1, maybe not a bad spot to take a risk. Anyways, so yeah, LeBron's out tonight. We've already talked about all the injuries. We talked about, Luka Doncic and Reeves' increase of usage. So let's talk about these teams in general here. So Golden State, I give them a slight points per game advantage only because LeBron James is out. I give the Lakers a slight points in the paint advantage, but that might not even be true since LeBron James is out. Golden State Warriors, slight fast break points advantage. And really the only reason why I'm giving Golden State all of these advantages is because LeBron is out. Slight advantages here. Golden State Warriors, big 3 points advantage, big assist advantage, big rebounds advantage, no clear turnovers advantage. Golden State team defensive efficiency advantage. It's tough for me not to like the Warriors in this one. What about Curry versus Doncic head-to-head history? Curry versus Doncic head-to-head history. Steph Curry has a 12-9 record over Doncic. So I'm taking the favorite. I don't think there's any way I can take the Lakers tonight. So I'm taking the favorite with Golden State here. So do I want to take both favorites here tonight? Sounds kind of lame. But it worked in football last night, right? Yeah. I mean, come on, dude. Let's not overthink this. Give me both the favorites tonight. OKC, I would probably take that line to -5.5. Just kind of depends on what you're comfortable with. I'm okay with maybe taking it down to 5.5, and maybe Warriors, money line or 1.5 or something. But and then we can look at against the spread stuff too last season. So Golden State was 46-46-3 against the spread. The Lakers had a better record against the spread than them, but they did have LeBron, I think Doncic and Reeves can make this a closer game than what some might expect, though. But Golden State did a pretty good job at defending against 3-pointers last season. Doncic and Reeves are good 3-point shooters. The Warriors ranked 10th best in 3-point field goals allowed per game last season. The Lakers were a little bit below, they were at average. They ranked 15th in 3-pointer allowed per game, and Curry ranked first in the NBA in 3-point field goals per game. And point guard, I want to see how many 3-point field goals the Lakers allowed to point guards last season. Looks like they were a little bit above average in that regard. Some of that could have been because of LeBron James being in the games. Let's look at Steph Curry's points. Let me go check to see if you guys have any comments or questions. Skinny Luka with LeBronless Lakers is tempting. Yeah, no, I think Luka is going to have to ball out tonight, man. Maybe a triple-double. So let's see how many triple-doubles he has against Curry throughout his career. 1, 2 out of 5 career, 2 out of 6, 3 out of 7, 3 out of 8, 3 out of 9, 3 out of the last 10 games against Curry. He's had a triple-double. Let's not do career. Let's just look at triple-doubles. 2 out of 4, 2 out of 5, 2 out of 6, 3 out of 7, 3 out of 8, 3 out of 9, 3 out of 10. So my guess is Luka triple-double tonight is going to be like like even money. Let's go look. I have no idea what it is. Okay, plus 466. Okay. He only had 5 triple-doubles last season, though. And Golden State, they ranked in the top 10 in assists allowed per game last year. So I just based off that alone, I think, the assists are probably going to be the hardest thing for him to get in this one out of all those props. I feel like we have to give a triple double prop out though. Sengun. I don't really want to look into the Sengun. I would give, and the odds reflect this too. I'd give Doncic. I mean, it's not really a hot take, but Doncic better chance than Sengun to get a triple double. I could see it, man, just with the volume that he's going to get. But I think he's going to have to score a lot. But, I can see Doncic driving and then just like dishing it out to Connect, dishing it out to Reeves. So, are those guys going to knock down their 3-point shots against the Warriors, who once again ranked 10th best in 3-point field goals allowed per game last season? All right, so let's look at Steph Curry's over-under on points, okay? Unless you guys want me to look at a different prop. If you guys want me to look at a prop, feel free to let me know. Stephen Curry over-under 26.5 points. 26.5 points. Okay. Let's go see how many times Curry has gone over that against Doncic in his last 10 meetings. 1 out of 2, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 4, 2 out of 5, 2 out of 6, 3 out of 7, 3 out of 8, 3 out of 9, 4 out of 10. The last 4 out of 10 games against Doncic, he's gone over. Let's also go check out Stephen Curry's game log and see if he's averaging more points per 40 minutes last season than previous seasons. Really, his points per 40 minutes was trending down the past couple seasons, which if I'm taking a player for his points over, I want to see that trend going up. It's telling me that some other guys for the Warriors are, getting active on the offensive side of the ball. Jimmy Butler is probably one of those big reasons. Trending points per 40 is down. And then let's just go check out Curry versus Lakers history. Not just against Doncic, but Curry versus Lakers game log is what I want. Curry versus Lakers game log. Last 10 games. Curry's had, looks like he's probably gone over in every game except 2. So 8 out of the last 10 games, he's gone over that. But we already know Curry, one of his biggest strengths is that 3-point shot. It's his biggest strength. And the Lakers ranked 15th last season in 3-pointers allowed per game. So I think, let's go look again at 3-point field goals allowed by the Lakers to the point guard position last season. They were slightly above average, around average. And then what about just points allowed per game allowed to point guards last season? They ranked 4th best, but a lot of that could just be because LeBron was out or LeBron was playing. I'm sure he had a big part to do with the Lakers defense. And didn't Anthony Davis get traded in the middle of the season last year? So that could have been, another reason why their defensive numbers were up. Let's go look to see if there's anybody on this worst defenders list on craftednba.com for the Lakers. Dalton Connect ranks 15th worst according to craftednba.com. They have their own criteria that they use to measure how good or bad a player is at defending other players. So Dalton Connect ranks 15th worst. So if Dalton Connect comes into this game, I think whoever he's defending can have some upside here. My guess it would be probably Pajimski. If Pajimski was in the game still, I know Connect is coming off the bench, uh, projected to come off the bench. Um, and then what did we look at the Warriors usage rate? Warriors usage rate. Let's go look at that. Steph Curry 29.8% usage rate. Once again, usage rate, yeah, pretty much determines a player's offensive, how much they mean to a team's offense here. Honestly, Jimmy Butler didn't have a big usage rate. It was Kuminga, and he was right up there with Curry. Kuminga, D'Anthony Melton, who I believe is out, Andrew Wiggins, Buddy Hield, Pajimski didn't have a high usage rate last year. So the guys I'd be really looking for in regards to who's going to be scoring tonight for the Warriors would be Steph Curry, Kuminga, but Kuminga's not even projected to be in the starting lineup. But he's questionable. But he is expected to play. So those would be the two guys, really, So I guess what would we say? We liked SGA points. Didn't necessarily like Kevin Durant's. Steph Curry. Let's go check out Doncic. I don't want to take all these point guards to go over their points. I mean, it could happen, but it's opening night. I think everybody's going to be on that. And usually when everybody's on something, I mean, it happens where, that wins, but I feel like on opening night, it won't happen. I don't think Kevin Durant, SGA, Steph Curry, and Doncic will all go over their points total. I think, the one I'd feel the most comfortable with is SGA. And then probably Doncic, just because I expect them to use him a ton, but I don't know what his line is yet. Right now, I'm going to have to lean towards Steph Curry under that. Let's go see. Bettors, I love that you take your time and literally go all in on research. You give people time to take it all in. I hate people that put out videos and lives running through all the information. Yeah. Everybody has their own style, but so, I mean, if that's how other people want to run it, more power to them. But this is the way I like to do it. I know it is time consuming. But I mentioned this on yesterday's show as well. If you are going to be doing this on a daily basis, if you are going to be doing this on a weekly basis, investing a lot into it, you need to invest a lot of, I'm not going to tell you, what you need to do. But me, I like to invest a lot of time into it, and take it seriously. I don't like parlays, but I'll talk about those parlays and stuff with you guys. Personally, I don't like parlays. Really, just single bets and are really just singles, and pick my spots carefully. And sometimes it's not even about picking spots carefully. It's about that bankroll management. I know those are boring conversations, but man, I've seen a lot of people get in over their heads with this stuff. And the fact that I talk about, sports betting and stuff, I feel like I just got to say, that's the last thing that I want to see for anybody. It's for people to get in over their heads with this stuff. I feel like I have, a responsibility to say, please do this safely. If you need help, there are resources out there that can help you. But at the end of the day, it's supposed to be fun. But I take it really seriously, but it's fun to me too. There's a balance with it. Anyways, I don't really like talking about like theory and stuff a whole lot. If you're gonna play parlays and stuff, and you're responsible, then more power to you guys. And I mentioned on yesterday's show, anybody can get lucky any given night. So if that's how you want to do it, like I said, man, I'm not here to tell you not to, but it's very hard, man. It's hard hitting parlays. Okay, so let's talk about another player prop. Jimmy Butler versus Austin Reeves. I mean, let's go see where like a vulnerability is with one of these defenses. Lakers fast break points allowed per game. So the Lakers were bad at defending fast break points last season, which makes me wonder who is the best at fast break points for the Warriors last season. Golden State Warriors. I don't see any of them on this top 50 list from last season. But yeah, thanks for the compliment there, Ivan. Jimmy Butler led this team in fast break points per game last season, but we're only ranked 64th in the NBA in that category. I mean, that does give Jimmy Butler more upside for sure. But I don't see like a tremendous advantage for Golden State in that department. I see more of an advantage for, Curry 3-pointers and or Buddy Hield if he's in. I mean, some of these guys, I don't even know if they're in or on these same teams or not, but we can go check to see if Buddy Hield is. And if he is, I think he's definitely worth a player looking at for the Golden State Warriors tonight, considering that usage rate. He had a higher usage rate than Jimmy Butler last season. The only thing is that Buddy Hield averaged 10 minutes per game less than Jimmy Butler. So, yeah, when he comes off the bench, I think that's definitely a guy to look into. Rebounds allowed, assists allowed, turnovers forced. So it looks like Golden State was pretty good at assists last season, and the Lakers were slightly below average. They ranked 17th in assists allowed per game to opposing teams. Let's go see if there, is a position, and I'm thinking maybe Curry assist time here. Yeah, the Lakers allowed the 4th most assists per game to opposing point guards. All right, Curry over under the assists. Let's go check what that line is. 5.5 at plus chicken. Let's go look to see if Curry game log. Let's go see if his assist per 40 minutes is trending higher or lower. Assists per 40 minutes. Last season, yeah, it was the highest it's been in his previous 4 seasons. So it looks like he's been assisting the ball a little bit more, and focused on that. He's been putting in work for so long now. He just likes to sit back and see other guys put in work, That's the kind of vibes I'm getting on this game. Curry over under the 5.5. Curry versus Lakers game log is what I want to look at real quick. See how many times Curry has had those dimes. 6 or more assists. 3 out of the last 4 games, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 6, 5 out of 7, 6 out of 8, 6 out of 9, 7 out of 10. I like what I'm seeing here with this. This actually may be one of my favorite props that I've seen so far. 7 out of 10 games. I actually gotta, probably get off the air here pretty soon, though. And once again, throughout the season, I'll do these NBA shows when I can. But football, yeah, that's my main focus right now. And I'm taking a lot of time working on that. You'd be surprised how long it takes me to get the information for those NFL shows. So 7 out of the last 10 games against Lakers, he's gone over the assists. Who's defending him? Doncic? What about against Doncic? I want to know not just, how many times against the Lakers. I want to know against Doncic as well. How many times in the last few games? 10 games, let's say. Did he get over did he get 6+ assists against Doncic? Last 3 out of 3, 4 out of 4, 5 out of 5, 6 out of 6, 6 out of 7, 7 out of 8, 8 out of 9, 9 out of the last 10 games, Curry has had that. So, yep, that's my favorite prop that I've seen so far today. Also, we talked about the Lakers, how they were slightly below average in assists allowed per game last season, and how they were specifically vulnerable to point guards getting assists on them last season. So, yeah, that's going to be my favorite prop. Heck, that may be even my favorite play today. Usually I don't I feel like I'm better at spreads and stuff, money line spread than player props. But that's my favorite player prop that I've seen. And I think the game I feel most confident about is the Warriors to win by 3+ points. And favorite player prop, Steph Curry over 5.5 assists. Warriors -2.5, Curry over 5.5 assists. Okay. What other props? Jimmy Butler. Somebody's got to score for the Golden State team, right? Jimmy Butler is projected to be the small forward. Points per game allowed by the Lakers to small forwards last season, they allowed the 6th most. One has to think that could be higher without LeBron James in the game. Player points, Jimmy B, 17.5. His usage rate does concern me. You think of a big name like Jimmy Butler, you're like, oh, man. He's a good offensive player, but his role, according to his usage rate, has been diminished than previous seasons with his former team. And let's go statistically look at that. His advanced stats. So, a few years ago, he was averaging 27 points per 40 minutes. And it just keeps kind of trickling down. It's been around the same, though, for the last 3 years, 22. There's really nothing that he's doing significantly better or worse in, whether it's points per 40 minutes, rebounds per 40 minutes, or assists per 40 minutes. He's been just pretty, a pretty consistent player. But we had 17.5. Honestly, I'll probably be trying to look at a different spot. So didn't we say Kaminga? Uh, yeah, I saw that Kaminga was day to day. I saw your comment there, Ivan. But Kaminga is expected to be available in this game. And I could see him coming in playing some small forward. And his usage rate's really good. I actually want to look at Kaminga's over-under on points real quick. I don't... Oh, 13.5? 13.5. What about the... I need to go back to the Warriors usage rate. Steph Curry, Kaminga. Kaminga only played 8 minutes less than... What about Jimmy Butler? 8 minutes less than Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's points are at 17.5, but Kaminga's are at 13.5. I feel like Kaminga is the way to go. I do want to look at Kaminga props real quick. Kaminga game log. His points per 40 minutes was the highest it's been throughout his career last year. And he actually averaged more points per 40 minutes than Jimmy Butler. Yet Jimmy Butler has a line that's 4 points higher. Doesn't make sense. I'm thinking Kaminga is going to get over that. Other season. We already mentioned that the Lakers allowed the sixth most points per game to small forwards last season. Points per game to power forwards. They were about average, maybe a little bit below average. And I think they even had AD. And the fact that LeBron's not in tonight, I think, they even if Kaminga does slide over to that power forward position, I think he can put in some work. And I really like his usage. What about Kaminga versus Lakers statistics? How many times in the last few games has he gone over the 13.5 points? 2 out of the last 3, 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 6. These other games I'm not going to count against him because he only played 4 minutes, 2 minutes, 9 minutes, and 10 minutes back in 2023. Last season, minutes per game, what did we say? He averaged, 26-ish. So in these games where he's played, 20, let's see, this game, the most recent game, he played 25 minutes and had 18 points against the Lakers. I think it is a good spot for Kaminga tonight to go over that total. And then Jimmy Butler, we can look at Jimmy Butler stats. Last 10 against the Lakers. Jimmy Butler, how many times has he gone over? He had 18 plus points against the Lakers. 0 for the last 2. 1 of 3, 2 of 4, 3 of 5, 4 of 6, 4 of 7, 5 of 8, 6 of 9, 6 of 10. One of those games he only played 12 minutes though, so really 6 out of 9. He's gone over. But I just have some concerns about him going over in this one. I think he can. I feel like him or Curry will. I think I would have to lean more towards Curry getting over his, though, just because of his 3-point advantage. But Jimmy Butler did good in the fast break points, right? But I don't know. I'd have to probably lean more towards Curry getting over his points, but we said we liked Curry's assists, right? Maybe they did both go under the points. And Kuminga just has a big game, and so does, Connect. And who's the other guy? There's another guy on this team that had a good user. Oh, Reeves, man. Austin Reeves. Let's go look at Austin Reeves real quick. His productivity last season was just off the charts on the offensive side of the ball, just compared to his other previous seasons. In regards to the points per 40 minutes, one has to think with LeBron out, this has to go up tonight, his usage. And, his over-under on points is 21.5. That makes sense that his point total is higher than Jimmy Butler's. But it doesn't make sense to me necessarily that Jimmy Butler's is higher than Kuminga. So Austin Reeves, 21.5 points. Reeves versus now Reeves plays with the Lakers, right? I mean, we were talking about Warriors. I'm tired from yesterday. I do make mistakes sometimes, but in regard to the Warriors, I don't know. Maybe just some of these other role players, guys. I'm gonna have to get off the air here in just a minute. But I really like those Curry over 5.5 assists and the Kuminga over 13.5 points. Obviously, I would like more time to look in some stuff, but it's the first day back, So I'm gonna be taking it. I'm just gonna chill back and watch what happens tonight. Yeah. So favorite player props. Or did you guys have any questions about any player props? Okay, cool. So, all right. Favorite plays that I've seen throughout this session: the Curry over 5.5 assists, Kuminga over 13.5 points. Dollface Gremlin had a nice call out with Chet over 1.5 blocks. I think Sengun over the 9.5 rebounds is worth maybe looking at. And then I was leaning towards Oklahoma City covering and Golden State covering. But okay. I'll see you guys back on Thursday for Thursday Night Football. Good luck tonight. Thank you guys for joining. If you want to scan that QR code up there at the top left, we got a lot of cool deals for you. Walmart.com and all that stuff. Yeah, thank you, Ivan. Thanks for joining. Walmart.com, NFL Pro Shop, NBA. You can get some jerseys and all types of stuff. If you just click on that QR code or scan it and then scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see everything. There's like something soccer too. I'm not too good at the advertisement things, but it's all in that QR code. All right. And I'll see you guys back here on Thursday. Let's see what game is on Thursday Night Football before we take off. Maybe, there's not a game on Thursday. Let's see. I'm sure there is, but going into week 8, Vikings at Chargers. Cool. All right. Well, thanks again for joining. Good luck tonight, guys, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Take care.
This non-casual podcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or reused without the authorized written consent of the Not Move Podcast Network. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.